and welcome back, adventurers. We are finally talking about my homeland, so please keep an open mind as we walk the land of Hazlan. Hazlan lies at the core's extreme southern edge, weighted at the west by the Balanox and stretching into rolling hills and plains toward the Vasi Plateau in the east. The climate here is much drier than the most lands of the core. Whether that would bring more regular rain usually ends up dissipating around Forlorn and Barovia, bringing Hazlan only dusty aridness. Due to this, droughts and bushfires prevail, and every few years a tornado tears across the plains, destroying a hamlet or two. As the Balanox pass into Hazlan, the mountains become more easily traversable, though still rugged. Breathtaking rock formations, such as needle-like spires, natural arches, and strangely shaped towers, grace rocky foothills. Mineral springs are common, and the swarm pools of jade-green water are crusted with alkali salts, and the Hazlani speak of terrible and wise fae that call the springs home. The Iron Sanctum, a monastic retreat, rests somewhere in the mountains, overlooking the Warlock's Road far below. It is home to a reclusive order of scholarly monks, the Order of the Guardians, a society devoted to collecting evil artifacts and magic items, to keep them from being used or cause harm. Local legend holds that they guard a terrible iron flask, said to contain the spirit of an unthinkably evil entity. To the west of Balanox lies a region where the soil has long since worn away, leaving the expanse of exposed bedrock. This bedrock is known as the Black Iron Shield, so called for the iron ore deposits found around here. Students at the Red Academy occasionally send expeditions to this desolate region, seeking buried ruins of ancient, pre-human civilizations. The Black Spire, a strange natural formation, rises at the misty border at the southern edge of the Black Iron Shield. The spire of purplish-black, glassy stone is said to be a reminder of a time where the nightmarish wasteland of Bloodspur stretched to the south of Hazlan. Hazlan's misty border is often called the Road of a Thousand Secrets, and is commonly held to be a mistway to distant sands of Eurasia. Travelers who pass the Black Spire might find themselves heading for a different destination, however. Hazlani lore claims that the Black Spire releases an unearthly, vibrating tone whenever struck by lightning. It also says that the luckless victims are usually transported far away to the realm of Bloodspore and its alien abominations if they hear that sound. Lying in the barren lands near Novavasan border, the Hill of the Hundred Paths is a much feared sight. Tinged with standing stones, the hill is covered with dozens of winding, branching flagstone paths leading to the crest of the hill, which is capped by a simple flagstone circle. The Rashmani believe this hill is home to vengeful ghosts who strike dead any who walk upon it without knowing the secret path the dead use. However, the auras I detected when exploring this site spoke to me not of restless undead, but of strange creatures trapped between this reality and the next. The mountains of Hazlan are the source of the Musardi River, which cuts a shallow canyon across the Black Iron Shield before passing into Kardakas. A pair of tributaries join this gentle river as it crosses Hazlan, the Mistmoor River and Mirror River. The Mirror River is a minor tributary, noted for its silvery purity and tendency to take on a reflective quality at sunset. Much of the Mistmoss, however, is white water, which flows over a bed of jagged rock and clinging, slimy weeds. And the banks of the river have many shallow and stony pools, in which strange and unsavory crustaceans crawl. Near the misty border, the Mistmoss River broadens. The huge boulders covered in laces of strange phosphorescent mosses rise from the water, looming from the mist like a strange lights of a distant, otherworldly city. Hazlani architecture falls into two distinct categories, dividing along ethnic lines. Rashmani buildings are generally simple, squat structures of whitewashed brick, with flat, thatched roofs and unadorned facades. The Rashmani often plant small vegetable gardens around their homes. Mulan architecture is more elaborate, often characterized as sprawling and opulent. Behind stone walls and wrought iron fences stand polished stone edifices in grey, pink and russet. Estates are surrounded by serene gardens of flowers, accented by the murmur of fountains. Minarets reach towards the sky, inlaid with dazzling mosaics overhead and topped by onion domes, one of Hazlan's signature architectural touches. The lawgiver temples, known as fanes, lend a third style to Hazlan structures. Fanes are built to reflect a dour and imposing grandeur. Most emphasize height and are fashioned of dark grey to black stone, with slab-like facades decorated with stern, even menacing statues depicting the Iron Tyrant. In addition to these architectural styles, Hazlan is dotted with long-abandoned windmills. No one is certain who originally built them. Neither the Rashmani nor the Mulan lay claim to their construction, nor do they match the structures left by previous civilizations. These beehive-shaped structures are 4 stories tall, with exteriors of earthly red and dirty grey sails. The Rashmani decorate these windmills by painting scenes and messages, telling the joy and sorrow of their community. Other ruined structures can be found scattered throughout the mountains, hills and plains. One may see half-buried statues, massive blocks of gold stone, or crumbling entranceways to buried complexes. These ruins are the remnants of the Vosaf Norse civilization, an ancient people wiped out ages ago. Some believe that the ruins of still more ancient empires rest beneath Vosaf Nor ruins, though few remember their names. Hazlani say that one day their culture too will fall, and on that day, every structure in Hazlan will sink beneath the soil, swallowed by the land just as the others were in ages past. Hazlan features long plains of golden grains and grasses, punctuated by occasional tangled patches of scrub trees. The rolling grasslands to the east are used to grow various grain crops that are subject to many diseases. Hazlani farmers are diligent about watching out for such infections, and most will burn their field rather than let grain infections spread. Trees grow at an extreme western edge of Hazlan, where the Hornwood Vale lies as well. The trees of the Hornwood are afflicted with a strange parasite that causes horn-like growths to sprout from trunks and branches, and also renders them unfit for construction. Of note is an indigenous root called kuwasp. The Mulan used the root much like snuff, although it costs twice as much. The Rashmani use for this substance is quite different, however. At night, Rashmani will venture out into the plains and build a fire. Then, they sit before it and smoke a pipe filled with kuwasp root. As the night wears on and the smoker stares into the fire, visions appear to him within the flames, supposedly answering whatever questions may be waiting in the smoker's heart. I would be remiss to omit mention of Hazlan's most notorious crop, the poppy flower. The milky juice from this blossom can be refined into opium, a powerful narcotic. Opium does have some medical applications when used with care, but it is far better known for its highly addictive properties. Opium dens are a common sight in Mulan circles, where privileged Hazlani lounge about in glassy-eyed stupors. Although Hazlan contains many of the mundane creatures one would expect to find in temperate hills, the region is noted for the unusual nature of its fauna. Hazlani lore claims that this profusion of unnatural wildlife is the result of centuries of restless arcane experimentation by Hazlik and wizard lords who preceded him. An example of this is the plains predator called the Krashar. Once, these beasts were plain cats, the predatory felines of Nova Vasa. Sometime in the past, a mad wizard used sorcery to transform them, giving them the ability to flay the skin from their skulls in large flaps. More legendary than real are the mythical ghost eaters, called ethereal marauders by few sages. The strange behemoths dwell in the spirit world and feed on the ghosts and other restless spirits. Storytellers claim that when no ghosts are nearby, hungry ghost eaters will step into the world of flesh to feast on the unwary. Thank you so much for your time, patient listeners. Hazlan is a land of wonder, both beautiful and horrible, so please, when you come visit, make sure you have a guide. And as always, be careful while crossing the mists.